Level 5, Catfishes Ma. Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. In the last part we did some side stuff around Koholint after finishing up the 4th dungeon, getting our 2nd level sword in the process, and now we're finally going to tackle this dungeon. Which, I'm going to warn you right now, is for the first time a dungeon that takes up an entire part. I know it only took us 5 out of the 8 dungeons in 10 parts. And right here we get the compass. Pretty quickly. However, that's not a sign of things to come. This dungeon is actually the longest in terms of what we've seen so far. I don't think it's the longest dungeon in the game. I think that's probably Dungeon 7. But, yeah. Actually, no, Dungeon 6 is pretty long, too. Either way, that little underground passage there is pretty simple. What you have to do is more or less just balance the two like a seesaw. It's basic physics. And now this is a room I have to forget to do the thing in. Since we chop down these crystals, we can come over here and push these blocks in. That rarely occurs to me until I'm like, wait, that's right, I have to do that thing to do the thing with the thing. And now we're back over here because that's generally how I do a lot of stuff in Zelda games, and we need to kill more iron masks, yay! I always found the iron masks kind of odd in concept. They're just guys with a mask on that have no arms to put said mask on. In fact, how do they even keep it on? Unless they never backtrack. Gonna keep away from that guardian acorn because I don't want to miss that because I don't want to miss this music. I actually really like this track. Nice and foreboding. There's then the fact I'm really tired of the piece of power guardian acorn theme. Gah, I hate it. And it only occurred to me recently that most of the time when I was playing the game, my Game Boy, I usually had the audio turned off and was listening to like music or TV or something. If you can't destroy a skeleton with your sword, try using a bomb. So that's why I never really minded the music that the acorn and power have. Either way, time for our mini-boss. Master Stalfos. As the elf statue told us, we have to put it down and then use a bomb to actually do damage to it. Though I think that may have done damage to it right then. Ugh, I can't beat you. I'm out of here. Well, that was weird. Call the hunch we might see him again. Why? I've got what was inside this box. Come and get it if you want it. Master Stalfos. Throughout the entirety of Catfishes Ma, there are 4 rooms that have that skull pattern on the floor with blocks around the corners indicating which number fight it is. That only had 1 block in its corner, so that was fight 1 of 4. We have a long way to go to deal with that Master Stalfos. Thankfully, it's only about the first half of the dungeon that you have to worry about that in. Second fight's over here too, so it's pretty close. Now, you see, here's my thing with this. I don't mind this gimmick. However, I wish they'd added more to the boss fight, because I know he has a sword swipe attack and a charge attack, but I don't think they add on any other attacks the more forms you go through. It's just the same fight over and over again. It kind of reminds me of... which Zelda game was that had something similar to that? I want to say I'm thinking of Twilight Princess, the area where you get the spinner, but I can't quite remember. It's been a while since I played that. I know there was another Zelda game that did something similar to that. Also, if you need more bombs, there's some over here. Now, I'm noticing a lot of very large pits around here that I just can't quite jump over. Huh. Either way, this room's kind of weird. I always forget what to do here. There's 3 Zals in here in total you need to destroy to open up the door. However, I always forget how to get to the 3rd one. You have to lift the leftmost pot here, and then just push this block. I don't know why that never occurs to me, but it never does. Either way, we want to head north for fight number 3. Really, though, as long as you charge up a spin attack facing upwards, and then the moment he fully reforms, release it, you should be able to beat him without getting hit, ever. I remember Wow, my grammar just died there. I remember that I used to have a lot of trouble with the Master Stalfos when I was a kid because I never really thought that, wait, maybe I should attack him from the right side instead of the left where his shield is, because even if you attack him from the front, the shield is in the way. Either way, we want to head back towards the entrance because that's the closest place to the fourth fight. So I'm actually using the Mambos. I forget the name of the Mamba. I'm getting words. My speaking is not good half the time. Either way, from the entrance, I'm cutting back to the room where the gems were. Past a little lever seesaw thing for fight number 4 against this guy. Yeah, I only got to live for about 7 minutes. Poor guy. Well, can you classify a skeleton as living? Huh. Either way, 3 bombs down in the 4th fight, and he's down for good, and will drop the dungeon item. We've got the hook shot. Its chain stretches long when you use it. It's the exact same as it was in Link to the Past. You use it, it shoots out, and if it latches onto something you can latch onto, you'll be pulled towards it. I don't think it works exactly like it does in other games. So, like, I don't think you can pull the masks off the iron masks. Also, back here in the first room, or second room, we can get 200 rupees. A lot of the chests are actually optional ones like that, which is a detail I kind of like, but kind of don't, because I like my chests to be useful. But, oh well. At least they don't hide pieces of heart in this game in dungeons. Like Twilight Princess. I actually really like Twilight Princess. I'm looking forward to the HD version, which will probably be out by the time this gets uploaded. But, God, there's so much to get in that game in terms of collectibles. Ugh. The bugs. The bugs. Though that game is an excellent speedrun to watch. I remember that from a GDQ a few years back. Speaking of which, that's going on at the moment. Just watched the failed Final Fantasy 1 run, which made me kind of sad that it was failed, but still. I got to see the Thief and the Black Mage overworld sprite, which is something I never get to see when I play Final Fantasy 1, given my play style. Actually, what is the current run? Oh, Buster. I remember that. That was a game. Because you're wondering why I said that, I have GDQ running on mute to my old computer to my left. Yes, to my west. I think that's actually north anyway. Either way, I wanted to go into that chain of rooms to get a key. Now, what I'm about to do here is entirely optional. The Catfishes Ma is one of the few Zelda dungeons I can remember off the top of my head where the mini-boss is optional, aside from Stalfos King. Or Stalfos King, whichever one. Stalfos Master, whatever the name is, I'm forgetting things. Either way, the real mini-boss in this place is 2 Gomas. And I think this is entirely optional. In fact, I know it is. There's a couple strategies you can go with. Well, first off, you need to shoot it in the eye. With either your arrows or your hook shot. It goes down in 3 or 5 hits of either, I believe. It tries to shoot stuff at you and tries to wedge itself into your face like it does one time coming up right here. But honestly, it's not a very hard fight. The only reason I fast-forwarded it was because I was being a shit shot and it took like 2 minutes. Or however long that was. The only real reason you do this is for the save warp. And you don't want to head over to the right here, by the way. If you do that, you're going to want to play the Mambo tune so you can get back to that room. Because, that stairwell leads to one of the 2 ways to get to the boss room. However, we don't have the key, and thus I was locked in, therefore I was kind of screwed unless I died, and I don't want to die. I want to show off that best ending. God, this... I mentioned it, I think, before, but... I forget the name of this song. Oh, first off, you can jump on Cheep Cheeps. I like that detail. This song, while I really like it, it's nice and foreboding, doesn't really fit a lot of these underground areas. That's why I like what they did in the Oracle games a lot better. Now, if you wanted to get to the boss room the other way, which I'm not going to show off, well, first off, dive under where the torchlight beams do cross. If you head right twice over here, you'll get also another way to the boss room. You'll find another way to the boss room, rather. Because you can go either way. I'm going the way from Goma because it's shorter, but yeah. Oh! Torchlights. dive where they cross. It's a fairly simple puzzle. And bloopers? What is with all the Mario cameos? I mean, sure, Mario cameos have been a thing since Zelda 1 because the fire bar enemies were technically from Mario, I believe. And even then, Mario 3 would reuse the warp whistle theme from... No, the flute theme from Zelda 1 as the warp whistle. Yeah. Either way, you want to come over to here with that little thing and grab this chest, which is the Nightmare's Key. And now we're gonna be jump cutting, I believe, or am I wrong? Am I thinking ahead a bit? I believe I am looking ahead a bit. Or am I? I forget. I'm lost. I'm an old man. Help. Okay, now this is something about this dungeon that I always kind of get stuck on thinking about, because I always forget that I can use the hookshot here for some reason. I always think that you either have to use the Pegasus boots or there's another way to get over here, which, mind you, you don't need to go over here at all if you did the Goma route, I believe. Because all we get for coming over here is, I think, a total of 100 rupees, and this chest, which is an optional small key. So you don't need to do this at all, actually. Huh. No wonder I always forget that how I do it. It's because you don't have to. Interesting. And just want to grab this bridge, which, by the way, first off, I love the idea of grabbing a bridge like this. I don't know why, I just really do. And yeah, another 50 rupees, so 100 total. And with that, we're going to cut back to this room just past where the Gomas were. So I can head down here for my way to get to the boss. Now, I think what you're technically supposed to do here is use the hookshot to get up to that Bowser statue face, which... Really? Another one? Wow, this game really likes its Mario cameos then. But it's useless to do it there, just do it here where you absolutely have to. Because then you're more or less good. Also, we're nearing the boss. I think what you have to do to get in over here... Well, first off, we're 2 rooms east of where that owl statue I was talking about earlier was. And now we're 1 room east of it. But I think what you're supposed to do is push the block just below the staircase east. But don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I took that route. So, you are the outsider. Come to wake the windfish. I shall eat you. Well, you went from kind of threatening to just silly. Boss of Catfishes Ma is really annoying. Meet the Slime Eel. Gimmick with him is that his tail is constantly in the center, swinging out at you. The only way you can cause it to not do that is to use your method of attacking him. Pull him out of his hole when his full face is showing, like that, with the hookshot. Then his tail gets brought in. The big thing with this boss, which, by the way, is most of the rest of the part, by the way, is that you constantly have to be keeping yourself away from that tail, but also keep an eye on where he's coming. It's honestly more of a war of attrition, but it takes... It just seems very slow and dumb to me. Also, I don't think you can get more than 3 shots in on him when you pull him out like that. It's a nice little concept, but due to the tail, which also, by the way, speeds up the more damage you do to him, it also reverses in direction, too. It just comes off more as tedious than anything, because you constantly have to keep an eye on it, and then wherever he's randomly popping up. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this boss. And also, it helps that you can miss, by 2 frames like that. Ugh. And know what the worst part about that right there was? I think I was like 2 shots away from killing him. Judging by the timer, I just say I was right about that. Yeah, 1. You don't seem to know what kind of island this is. What a fool. Oh, that's ominous. And also, why was I turning into the Resident Evil 4 merchant for a minute there? But we're finally done with the place. We've got the Wind Marimba. Shrine. An island secret in the shrine. Well, that's interesting. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Yeah, the first part-long dungeon. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 11, we'll be doing some side stuff first, I believe, and then heading towards the next dungeon. See you guys then.